You did? And it was just like a hard silence.
Hard silence.
But we fixed it.
We fixed it.
You don't even know that there was a mistake, except for that we're 4 minutes late. I'm Devin.
And I'm Paul.
And we're the Dads and Dice, and we are here for our month-end stream.
That's right.
For the first time, definitely not the second time.
Not the second time.
Technical issues. Yeah, so...
Seems like a reoccurring theme that we've both been having lately.
Yeah, made it into 2025, and...
1 month in. Hey, Patrick.
Let's get chat.
There we go. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Okay. Everything's good. We have to have a little technical issues.
Always
right?
have to.
But yeah, thank you, of course, for being here. And not super late, so
yeah,
that's always good.
It's earlier than 8:30 like we normally do, so that's good. We have been pushing them back to 8.
Have we?
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh,
Can't wait to see what games you guys
hey,
share.
Mega Blue.
Yeah. I think you clicked the thumbnail. I don't even remember.
37.
37.
Yep.
37 games. And honestly, Paul and I actually played very little together this month.
I think only 6 games, or actually, I think only 5 games interlapped. And one of them you played, and one of them I played, but separately.
Yeah, I think we played only 4 games together all month.
Oh wow!
That I remember. We did 3 last week and 1 before that.
Yeah, no, and then 1 more. We did stream Explorers of the North Sea also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about them whenever we get here.
Yeah.
But we need the pictures to remind us.
Other than that, we play with other people. We have other friends.
Or solo. One of those two.
Or family.
Or family.
I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, mine was with family. I don't have other friends.
I did play with a couple other people. Some people that I don't generally play with.
Who's betraying me?
Betraying you. It's people I can win against.
Yeah.
That's who I play with.
That's who I play with.
Oh.
Me too. We got that in common. I only play against people I can win with.
Lacey beats you pretty good sometimes, though. I think y'all are pretty evenly matched.
You know what? The 2 of us are like 60-40. Is what the split typically, like, I don't know, one time I was able to break it down to us 2. It's 60-40, which is, I think, pretty dang good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Me and you are 85-15.
Ooh, feel called out. That's all right. But it makes those wins better.
That's good. I think you might be like 3rd. Yeah. I think Joe is something like 75-25 with me. So I think you're 3rd place. Everybody else falls below there.
Well, let's get into the games that we played this month. I'll have to check our BGA stats on that. Yeah, you check our games and we'll see. We'll see what that is.
All right, so starting off with 20 Strong. I played a ton of 20 Strong. I think I played, I don't know, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 10 times. I don't know exactly how many it was.
I think that's like way more than what you have in most of your games.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a blast. I honestly really, really enjoyed it. I think it has enough to not be... I don't mind a game like 20 Strong that has like luck-based element, survival type of thing. But this has enough game in it, like actual game, to play. And that was not the one I was playing. I was playing the Solar Sentinels one. Okay. I switched it out because the month ended, so I decided I'm playing all Solar Sentinels first month. I'm going to try Too Many Bones this month of February, and I'm going to try Hoplomachus next month. So I played nothing but Solar Sentinels for the last month, just different people and whatnot, and it was really cool. So the Solar Sentinels one...
Is Solar Sentinels a game in Chip Theory's universe,
I believe,
or is it a game somewhere?
I could be totally wrong, but I believe that one was specifically designed for 20 Strong.
Okay.
Everything else is going to be the shared IP stuff. So the Solar Sentinels one, you have 3 stacks of enemies, and then you are working your way toward the boss, and you have to clear one of the stacks of enemies in order to face the boss. Now you could clear them all stacks, or you can just clear one. Once you clear one, you can challenge the boss. It was pretty cool. The way that it worked, you selected one of the face-up 3 stacks, and that's who you face. Certain ones were mandatory, but they all have, like, we'll call it potentially nasty abilities. But some of them make you pull other enemies, and so it's managing, like, oh, I'm going to pull this guy. He has this nasty ability, but if I pull this guy, it's not as bad, or things like that. And then they give you rewards, and the rewards are various different things. And so it's balancing out, like, who you're going to face, what rewards you're going to get. And then, of course, the dice management part, I think, that's universal across all of them. So they all use the same set of dice. They all use the same, like, there's 3 of those dice that are stat dice. It's health. I can't remember what they call. One is rerolls. And then one is how many dice you get back, recover.
So is it like a dice builder? Like, are you getting more dice throughout the game?
You start with all the dice.
You start with 20 dice.
You start with all the dice. Your goal is to not lose all the dice. So you have a stat. Let's call it. I think each recovery is what it's called. But it's going to be. Let's start 2. It's pretty baseline. If you use 4 dice in a battle, you get 2 back at the end of battle.
Okay.
But as you fight things, you get abilities that let you get some extra dice back, and that kind of stuff. And so it's managing your entire pool of dice, and it will dwindle as it goes on. And so that kind of takes into account when you want to face the boss. So, like, there'd be times where it's like, I clear a stack, I'm at full health, I got some strong dice, I'm fighting the boss right now because I can. There are also times where I'm like, oh man, I need to try and manipulate this, recover some more dice, or get some more health, or things like that.
Interesting.
So that's how the 20 strong is set up. Too Many Bones is totally different, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a totally different gameplay.
That's just using
mechanic,
the same dice,
but it uses the same set of dice, and then the same how dice work. So your health, your rerolls, and your recovery are the same.
Okay.
And then they have the 3 princesses ones, and then they have the
Tanglewood, I think, is the one that's coming out this year.
Yeah, that's got all the princesses.
Yeah.
And so there's 3 different games, same type of thing, using that exact same set of dice in there, but they're different.
That's really cool.
Games to do with it.
Yeah, we were talking just shortly before we live streamed about how you said this one would be similar to Warp's Edge. I can definitely see that, because in that game you have that stack of cards and you have to clear them, at least in the one boss, right? So the other ones play differently, but yeah, then you can attack it, and then if you go off whatever, then it comes out again and you have to go through that cycle. That seems really good. I'm going to be excited when you finish it so I can play it.
Yeah, exactly. So I played tons. So that was 20 strong.
Hey Ian, hope you enjoyed some dinner.
Next up is A Feast for Odin. I just recently streamed this?
Streamed it, yes.
I did stream this. Yeah.
You went animals. Horses.
I did. You're right. I went horse strat. It was fun. It was a good one. I had what did I have that was really strong? I don't know. You know how A Feast for Odin is. It's all about,
had one where, like,
it's all about the occupations.
Back a worker, I think.
That was it.
Yeah.
Well, no, that wasn't my main one, but that was really cool. So one of the occupations I got was, when I played that occupation, all my 4 worker spots, I could pull 1 worker from. So I played 2 4-worker spots, pulling those back, getting 2 workers back. You can technically play that in the 7th round and
get 3 workers
get 3 back. If you're playing 3 4-worker spots, that would be your final thing, and you get 3 workers back. I would love to be able to do that.
That'd be really good.
It would be tough, and it would be very tough in a multiplayer game to pull off. But yeah,
if you planned it right, it would be good.
It would be pretty cool. But there was something I had. I can't remember what it was that really carried it. 162 score on A Feast for Odin is a great score. I've yet to achieve higher than 135 points solo. Keep trying. Also, are you playing with the Norwegians expansion?
I think Patrick probably is.
That's definitely going to change it. score-wise.
I think my highest is 125 without Norwegians. I think that's what I've gotten on that one. So,
but yeah, it's good. This is not one of my favorite solos actually. I would much rather just play the game than the mechanic of blocking yourself, because that's not how the game plays, right? You actually kind of get handicapped, rightfully so, because you're playing solo and unlimited board, but you get handicapped on having occupational strategies because you can only do them every other round, whereas normally, like, I had one that wasn't crafting, it was the white actions, but I was getting coins, extra coins for doing that.
And
but
you couldn't do them every turn.
Yeah, so like in a normal game, like you could do that, or you would be, you built something for whaling. Nobody else is going to go whaling. Yeah. You have now built something that's good for
Or you're
whaling.
getting the trade as many green up to blues, and then the other person's doing like the plundering or whatever, right? Or the whatever it's called.
Yeah, like everybody can just kind of niche into something, which is what I like. There is a little bit of competition typically around the immigration toward the last 3 rounds, but other than that, you never feel like
and with Norwegians,
stuck.
It helped that out. Like it opened up way more spots for immigration, at least for that. Like with the whaling boat, you can immigrate that, but then also that last one lets you immigrate some as well, right?
I think it's technically the same amount. I think you lost an immigration spot, but you have a cheaper one.
Maybe that's what it is.
Is what it is from what I remember. I'd have to look at the board again, but I'm pretty sure you lost what happened.
So yeah, that's a fun game. I like it.
Beast Road, and always a good time. Alhambra. So I did play quite a few games with family. Lacey's family has slowly been creeping into board games, and it's great.
You're getting your wish after how many years of marriage now?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, and they want, like, Libby loves playing games and wants to, and so I'm just bringing all kinds of games. Alhambra was great. This was a really fun game. Very simple. You have 4 different color currencies, and you're building out, I think, an Alhambra. I think you're building out a little city thing.
I think that is a city. I'm gonna Google this real quick.
Yeah,
keep going.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You're building out the city.
Huh?
No, I think Alhambra is a city.
Is a specific city. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. But anyway, you're basically like you're buying colored like pieces. One of the city pieces would be red, and one is green and blue, and so on. And then
it's a palace in Spain.
They will fall in those colors of the currency, and so that's the currency you have to buy for whatever piece. So, and if you hit it exact, you get a bonus turn. It's really simple. I'm explaining it poorly, but it's actually a very simple game. And then there's 3 scorings. 2 are random, and then one's at the end of the game. That scores majority of who has however many red tiles. Majority gets this many points all the way down, and so it's pretty really simple.
Do you think it would play good at 2, or is it better? I'm assuming you play this probably at 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say 3 is probably a solid game. Still a lot of fun. 2 be fun. And the problem with 2 is it'd just be like, oh, well, Paul built a red. I'll just not.
I'm not going to go to red.
Just not take any red. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like with
because at that point I need to build 2 to have more than you.
It was like our games of Explorers in the North Sea, where you and I just go out that way, right? And I'm not gonna compete with you unless I have to, right?
Yeah,
like if it comes into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that.
It was super good. Definitely one we'll play again. I literally just like run it there at the table and we played. Azul. So this is really what started us playing. Is Libby text Lacey and was like, "Hey, have you guys heard of a game called Azul?"
And Devin's ears were just like.
Lacey was like, "Yeah, absolutely, we love that game." And it was ironic. We had just recently got this copy. And so we took that and we played it with them, and I schooled them in Azul. I showed them no mercy. I showed them exactly how to really play Azul.
You didn't like intro into them. I was like, oh, just make
they
it
knew how to
look
play.
good.
Hey, they knew how to play. All right.
They stuck Libby with every single tile
Been
at the
playing
bottom.
with her friend. She was like, I know how to play. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I schooled them exactly.
You get negative 13 points.
I stuck Lacey with a massive, and they realized how cutthroat Azul can be
They're like,
real quick.
oh, this isn't what I thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
Anyway, they still enjoyed it, but
I'm sure
it was fun. And it was really cool because it was like, man, we've been playing so much. I love this. So, all right,
Like, and now you know how to now take us back to your friends and stick them with 13 points.
yeah, exactly.
13.
I'm like, and that because they were like, what are you doing? There's so many in there already, and I'm like, yes, there is.
You're like, I know that.
Yeah, like, look at all the snowflakes already. I'm like, and 2 more, man. And
Nobody can place
and I've already counted, and there's no way I can get them.
That's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, you're sitting there like, Lacey, look at that. Look at that.
I was like, well, sorry about you.
That's awesome.
And I new players don't realize how good being first is, and they're so afraid to take the
negative 1 point.
Yeah, and I'm like, by the second round to me, I'm like, yeah, I'll take these 3 in the middle, and they're like, why are you doing that? I'm like, I just am. Don't worry about it.
I just need these specific ones.
Because picking last is the absolute worst. So anyway,
You can't control the board.
Azul. Battle Line.
Battle Lines. We played this one last week. This was part of our what was it, 5th Friday Filler Frenzy. And our stream actually died on this one. But we were literally 1 turn away.
Yeah, and Paul came back, clawed his way, and still lost.
Big time. But this game, you had 9 pawns.
Battlegrounds.
Yep, 9 battle lines.
Battle
lines,
lines.
whatever they are. And you're just playing cards on each side and basically playing out poker hands, right? So you had straight flushes, beat flushes, 3 of a kinds were in there. And then if you had nothing, it was a high card, basically, right? So winner was either the first one to do 3 in a row or to have 5 completed ones. This game was, we talked after the stream, we think it's a good game. It's not a filler in the sense of what a filler is. It's a filler GMT game.
Yeah, so neither of us played it, right? And I just assume, like, first and foremost, would you believe this is the lightest weight of all we played according to BGG?
I don't believe that whatsoever.
This is rated like a 1.9.
There is so much strategy in this game.
I thought the same. I was like, does not feel like a 1.9 at all. But anyway, so it's rated 1.9, 30-minute. I thought it was going to be like a 30-minute game, But there was a lot of thinking. So I don't think it was bad. It was bad for what we thought was going to be a filler. But definitely one that now that I know how to play, like, I think this is fun and I would enjoy playing and like,
Yeah, there's this really interesting like strategy of, do you want to have cards on every single battle line and just kind of like set your mark, like this is what I'm going for. But it comes to a point where you can't do that anymore, right? Like I think that's basically how you ended up winning it at the end. Was the only way I could have won it was with 3 of a kind 5s, but all the 5s were out, and it was just like, I can't, like that's on you.
And I really enjoyed that kind of end of game escalation or maybe tension that like now we're really limited in what we even have. Half's not available. Like, what can I really play? And like, you have to see what is actually available. And oh, you know what? I don't think that he could actually get the flush, and it'll have to best case go for a straight, or I don't know. It's just really
so what
cool.
I found really hard in that game, or what I wasn't sure of, and maybe it gets better with more plays, is at one point I had, I think, like 3 1s and like 2s, and that was it, right? And so if I see that you're going for whatever, a straight flush somewhere, is like, well, the best I have is 3 of a kind, and it's 1s. And literally all of yours are at least a 2 out there, right? So if I set my battle line down as 3 of a kind, that is literally like the lowest one that you have to beat, right? Like you could beat that pretty easily. So just like the randomness of what cards you were getting was really hard, because I also don't want to start something off with a 1, because then it's like, well, I can only do a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I could do 3 of a kind 1, or I could do a flush, and it's a 1 flush, right? So
I think if you played it more often, you'd really like begin to probably see you're not going to win them all.
You're
and
not,
so it's
for
probably
sure.
got to be, I bet like more often than not, the more you play, it comes down to getting 3 in a row and being strategic of I'm going to specifically win these 3, and who cares if I'm sloughing off this card over in this one, right? Or you're playing a little bit defensive of like, okay, Paul has won this one. If I win, and if I can win this one to the right of it and this one 2 over, I've now stopped him from getting a 3. I bet there's a whole lot of that kind of strategy in it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
But you know,
it's who was it? Reiner Knizia game, right? Yeah, and I mean it definitely does not feel 1.9.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
That shocks me. I would have thought Mystic Market was the lowest one that we played.
Yeah,
the latest one.
That was Battle Line. Bees. Okay, do you know who makes this game?
I think that symbol is the same as Azul.
Yeah, look at these boxes, right?
Yeah. Is it Plan B Games?
I don't know about that, but I'm saying literally look at the box.
Okay.
Same thing.
Oh,
everything about
Azul.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely see it.
Yeah. So anyway, played some bees with the family. This game was a lot of fun. This game was you're a bee. You're a bee, and I don't know why, but your bees can't go straight. Bees cannot fly straight. This is fact known in the world that I just learned.
Wait, like for real or just in the game?
I don't know.
Oh,
but in this game they can't. So I'm saying I assume it's for real that you can fly any direction but straight. But so
I'm gonna go watch bees when I get home.
You have a bee, and it's a six hex shape. You cannot move straight, so you can either move, this way, and if you move this way, you either move. I think it's 1 and 5 spaces.
Okay.
And then if you move this way, it's 2 and 4 spaces. And then if you move straight back, you can move 3 spaces. Okay. So every turn you decide what way you're going to move. And then you're going and you're collecting little pollen on flowers. And based off how many spaces you've moved, you have a board that they sit on, and you either put them in the movement. So you either put them in the 1 slot, or the 2, or the 3, 4, and 5. So the strategy is you can't move exactly like where you want to go, and you're having to so, I'm going to move 4 spaces in this direction and collect this pollen, and then I'm going to put it in my 4 slot.
Yeah.
And then next turn I got to move 5 spaces that way, and I put it in my 5 slot.
And you're trying to collect like 1 through 6 or whatever?
You're trying to collect maybe sets or a pattern, or there's various colors. There's kind of different, there's 3 different scoring card conditions for collecting them. But it was good. Like it was simple and it was fun, and that was it. Like it was just deciding, I'm gonna move.
Yeah.
And it was like quick. We played 2 games back to back, and I bet they couldn't have taken 15 minutes each,
So I remember you got this one in your first big haul. And I remember looking at it, and we saw those gear things, or whatever, and it reminded you of some game. HeroClix. That was. Did it play like HeroClix?
Doesn't play anything like HeroClix.
Not at all.
Definitely the bases still look like HeroClix.
I remember you said that. You're like, I'm so excited. This is going to be HeroClix. And
yeah, absolutely. Definitely looks like that. Not HeroClix in the slightest. I mean, this is I would say lighter than Battle Lines. Literally just what I explained. You move the bee, but it's great. And honestly, I have very much underappreciated all of these games we've been talking about.
Games.
These family weight games that I've had, because they're ones I'm like, I'll never play these.
Yep.
Now that I'm literally playing with family, that like, oh, I'm like, these are literally perfect. Like I can take these, we play them a couple times. You know?
Finally had the opportunity to appreciate them.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, look, we played Bees 2 times, played Azul 2 times, Alhambra 2 times. Like everybody, you play once, everybody learns it. They're like, oh, let's play it again real quick, and then played another one. I think, truthfully, this month, the reason I played so many family games, we had one like all day 12-hour gaming session. Everybody had fun, and so we did it again. You know,
like
a couple weeks
later.
I've just
you
been
played
taking
this one,
stacks
The Geek Way to the West, fun and strategic.
Yeah, it was like just simple fun. Like I'm not nothing else to talk about. Like it's not a masterpiece of the game.
I like it, Michael.
I like that too. Also, I feel accomplished that I have now played a game that Michael didn't know about.
There you go.
Because Michael knows every game.
And now he's gonna beat you on it.
Now we'll play it online and he'll beat me.
Awesome.
But yeah, those Bees. Cascadia Rolling Hills. It was fine. It was fine.
That is exactly what that game is.
I think that I would play it anytime. It's probably the perfect simple roll and write to bust out, but there's really not much to it.
What maps did you play?
The one that you were collecting lines of terrain.
I think that's the first one. No, the first one might be diagonal.
This was like 20 line. You collected 20 of each terrain type or so.
That might be the first one. I don't remember. So I know the maps. Cascadia Rolling Hills and Cascadia Rolling Rivers, Rolling Waters, whatever. It's the exact same game, except the dice are slightly different for the resources. And I know there's map A, B, C, and D. It goes from easiest to hardest, right? So I think the last map, D, is supposed to be more like Cascadia, to where you're placing things in certain areas and like scoring based on stuff like that. I haven't tried it. I think I've only tried the one that you've played.
What I think was fine for the game, but relatively convoluted is having to explain the
pine cones,
the nature tokens and how they work.
Yeah.
Like,
what is it? It's not trade up.
It's trade up or trade down.
Yeah,
or,
but it's a weird word for it.
Or get 2 different animals, I think is what it was. And it's like, it makes sense, but like having to explain it to Lacey took her half the game to like figure out what she could use pine cones for when she's got like 15 of them over there. And I'm like, you could trade up right here. You know, like,
you just need this and you need to make